Well, g'day, Max here again. Welcome back to the shop. So, this is the video that I said last video I may or may not record bits and pieces because it's been a bit of a mixed up week and a bit, and just getting some smaller jobs done, taking care around the shop, some stuff put away, and just attending to some other jobs that were starting to build up, just small jobs for here around the place. And I also gave the shop a darn good clean out too. So yeah, well, we're building a bench for behind this small lathe, and yeah, stick around. So we're just knocking up a couple of shelf brackets for behind the JFMT lathe, just a bit of rusty old crap. We'll get them ground up, welded together, holes drilled and mounted up. But we had to clear off the welding bench, so all of the parts that were on the welding bench are now on the horizontal borer. Well, these are all the DSG parts. And so once the JFMT saddle is on the DSG at the moment, and once we finish that, then this stuff can head up there. Okay. Right, I'll get the rest of these welded up and we'll meet you over at the back wall by the lathe. Well, that's another job ticked off the list. So we've got our shelf done now. So that's the replacement one for the little tiny tot one that I had there. Got a heap of brazed carbide tooling too. It's all Seco, except for these two here, but all the rest is all Seco, so that's good stuff. So always handy to have some of this sort of stuff lying around, and some 1.25" tools for the big lathe. All of this actually come with the big lathe, so we'll go through that one day. So what we've got to do now, next thing on the list, is get this bench knocked up that we're going to put in behind the small lathe over there. So let's see what materials we've got. So it's going to be a bench on a budget. We've got a bit of 50 by 50 RHS there. That'll do for legs. Need some timber for the top. Oh, this is too thick, it's all 3" That's all 3". Now we've got some 2". Yeah, we've got a couple of 2" slabs. Probably get it out of these two. That'll do for the top. Actually, those were my first experimental slabs that I cut when I started chainsawing timber slabs. So this is our wonky sketch of what we're building, our bench. So it should be approximately 950 high, it's only approximate. 500 wide, 1.4 metres long, and it has this funky cutout in it to clear one of these shed columns. So yeah, she's a bit of a special. So that's our legs all cut and cleaned up now, so we'll get on with the top. So we got the top frame of our bench all cut out, tacked up now, ready for welding. So what I'm going to do is going to weld all of the outside corners first. Then we'll do the inside corners, and we'll do the sides last. And hopefully it should all come out right. We're going to do it with a TIG welder. I did tack it with the TIG welder. Now, reason I'm doing the outsides first, it's only a small weld, one run down the outsides. There's going to be less heat put in. When you do the inside, there's going to be more heat. So, general rule, to counteract your pull and all that, whatever you put on one side, more often than not, you've got to put 3 times as much on the other. And that's a good rule of thumb to go by to keep parts straight and square. It's worked for me very well in the past. So let's get her TIGged up. So the other reason to use the TIG, it's good practice for me because I don't do much TIG welding. When most people that know what they're doing do TIG welding, I'll have one tungsten and a supply of filler rod. I have one filler rod and a supply of tungsten. We'll see how we go. TIG welding's an art. It's not like MIG and stick and any other welding processes. You got to do, as you guys might have seen, you got multiple things going on at once. So let's have a crack. And also it's going to be less cleanup as well. So good enough for a bench, and not really any cleanup to do. So I'll get it flipped over and do the other 2 corners. Then I'll do the insides. that's our frame, well, the top of our frame. All the welding's complete on that now. Nothing really to clean up. I'll just, on the top of it, just a light rub with a sanding disc is all it needs. So it's a good result. Even the tungsten survived. Had a couple of dips when I was doing the corners, because what I worked out, if I'm welding approaching like from the left or this direction into a corner and welding across, I can, but when I have to switch over to the other side, it's for me, I find it a lot more difficult. Let me just stand the frame up, I'll show you. So going from this side is a darn sight easier than going from this side, as I find my vision starts to block out. But hey, we're there. So it stayed nice and flat as well, so there's no rocking it in it, so she didn't twist or bow, so that's good. So that's my little TIG welder, little 200 amp Unimig. When I brought it, it was the last of the models that you still had knobs. The new models that they had out had like a board inside, so you didn't have the knobs, so I went with the earlier one with the knobs. No, my luck with electronics, you know, I don't have a good track record. Me and electronics don't seem to mix, so yeah, I thought I'd have better luck with the knobs. That way if something clags out, I've got half a chance of getting a replacement or something like that. But the whole board goes in the later ones, well, you're screwed. You know, you either got to go and get another board, probably half the cost of another welder. It does the job all right. Okay, that's got all of our legs tacked on into position. So yeah, we'll crack on and get her all welded up now. This is all just temporary bracing, so this will all come off. Same down the other end, a couple of bits here. This will come off once the welding's complete. So we're going to finish the rest of it out with the MIG welder, just for something different, and it's a bit quicker. Well, okay, I think I've got them all. I'll just get a grinder and just touch up the stops and starts. We should be good to go. Actually got a more important welding job on the go here. The wife's spade. She broke the handle off it. She broke it, back in probably about 30 years ago, and that's where I welded it last time. You just can't get good quality spades like this anymore. Like, this is a really good sharp flat spade, but it's like a forging because the reinforcement rib, that's solid steel. It's not a pressed in thing like the cheap ones you get nowadays. And like, it starts off thickness about, that'll be about 4 mil, 3/16 of an inch, and it slowly tapers down to a sharp edge. Yeah, they don't make them like this anymore, so she's due for another repair. Oh, and that was an old repair I done a very long time ago, welder handle on it. So, got to get the priorities right. Oh, well, that should put a smile on a dial, especially if we get another 30 years out of it like my previous repair, which is that one, and that's our new repair. Well, I thought I'd finished, but you see our cutout there to clear the column. Forgot about that one, didn't I? Didn't even think about it. Let's rectify that. We'll come up with a plan. Well, a test fit showed it fits perfect, so it's just our bench behind this lathe, as that's what I prefer. So our cutout clears the column, and yeah, we cut a piece out, put a couple of cross members in down here, and dropped a couple of little legs down. I'm going to put it's going to be a shelf in the bottom here anyway, so that'll be right. And of course our 2-inch thick timber top on the top. I've got to save every bit of available space, so that's why the dog leg, and also why when I constructed the building, these girts, normally they go on the outsides of the columns, but I've set them in, and that saved me probably 250 millimeters of more usable space inside the shop. So yeah, we'll get a coat of paint on this now and get our timber top sorted out. So this old beaten up twisted set, well, I'll call it a temporary set of forks I made up probably, I don't know, it's a few years ago now. I do have a video of it a long time ago when we were welding the little plates on the bucket there to retain them, but I found these L-shaped section things in the bin, and I needed a set of forks real urgent, and I wasn't in a position to make up a set, so I just bodged along with these, and I use them every year, and they're just for moving like light branches and that, but sometimes, yeah, I get a bit carried away and push logs onto the fire with them. So it's that time of year again, I need to use them, so they're just going to get another temporary patch up to get through this season. What I do plan to do is, I got some thick plate here, so later on I might make up some proper ones maybe utilising this plate, but I want to get myself a creeper cutter first. If you don't know what a creeper cutter is, it's like imagine like a motorised oxyacetylene torch that runs on a track, so you can cut straight lines easily. So that's the plan later on in the year. We'll just patch these ones up. As I said, this will be the last season I hope that these will be used. So yeah, just another job on my long list of jobs here to do on the property. So the long-term plan is to make up a quick hitch system. That way I can hook the bucket on, or hook a decent set of forks on. But like the tractor's due for a huge maintenance session, as it has not had one since I've had the thing running. It's been running for several years, and it's a few oil leaks that need to be sorted out, and some decent tyres on the front Well, this one's not too bad, but the other one's knackered. And a good service. Right, well, these will live to fight another day. Got some braces, that'll help it immensely. Some plates and that, more braces. Alright, on with the next job. So, sorting through some of my timber slabs. I think this one here is possibly going to be our best option. So yeah, we'll cut it 500mm wide and cut it the length of our bench. I'm not going to do it today because yeah, I'm not feeling the best to use a circular saw today, as we had a big night last night. Yeah, so we had a bonfire last night and a few ales, as it was the last night of the burning season. You could burn all your waste wood without having to have a permit, but yeah, all that finished last night, so yeah, it was a good night. Oh well, there you have it. Still have to cut the piece of timber. It's a bit blistery outside today, so I'll wait till the weather's a bit nicer outside, as yeah, I don't want to start chopping up timber in here in a hurry and create a big mess and have to clean it up again. So during my clean up, I was doing a little bit on the big milling machine here and got a bit carried away. Well, not carried away, something that had to be done. This will actually be a separate video, but I think we really need to start moving and get this pinion gear sorted out, which is in the Bridgeport behind us there. So we'll definitely make, well, either one of the two the next video. See what happens. Anyway, cheers, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.